Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Radium Central, and I'm your host, Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So recently I received an email from someone asking me what I think of ghee and what I specifically think about supplementing with ghee, adding ghee into one's daily life or into one's daily eating routine as a supplement. And so that means perhaps eating 1 or 2 tablespoons of ghee every day on top of everything else they're eating. And this is a great question because I think nowadays there's people over the internet promoting people to be eating ghee or to be eating coconut oil or other oils as a supplement on top of everything else they're eating. And the great thing about ghee, and for those that don't even know what ghee is, what I'm talking about, ghee is clarified butter. It's used in traditional Indian cuisine. It's also used in Ayurvedic medicine as either a supplement that people ingest, that they eat, or that they put on their skin. It's pretty much butter that has been cooked down, and the milk solids are separated from the oil. And the good thing about ghee is that it doesn't have casein in it, and it doesn't have lactose in it. That once the butter's been cooked down and everything's been kind of separated, is that you're just left with the oil. And so for those that are lactose intolerant or allergic to milk ingredients within milk, this is something they can a lot of times tolerate and have no problem using instead of using butter or other dairy products. The other benefit of ghee too is that it has a very high smoke point. It doesn't burn under high heat like other oils do, and even butter. You know, a lot of people like to cook with butter, but the problem with butter is that once it gets over sort of a medium heat, it does start to burn or it does start to smoke. And using ghee, which tastes just very, very similar to butter, is that it has a much higher smoke point, and so it doesn't burn over a high heat. So I would say you're much, much better off cooking with ghee over cooking with butter. And so that too is a benefit. And another benefit is that it has essential fatty acids in it and all sorts of vitamins and minerals in it and everything. And especially if you make sure to get ghee that is from milk that has come from a cow that's been grass-fed and pasture-raised. That's very important. A lot of times people overlook this, that you need to find a ghee that is from grass-fed milk. And many times they'll either have it on the label that it is, or you can call up the manufacturer to find out. But make sure to always have that kind of like on the radar, because you'll be getting much better quality product and much more vitamins and minerals in it and everything. So back to taking ghee as a supplement. What do I think? Well, I think the one thing that always comes to mind whenever someone asks me about any kind of oil or fat to take as a supplement is that I always think, do you really need to be taking those extra calories? Because there's a lot of calories in any kind of oil, in any fat, in ghee, in any of this stuff. It's like 1 tablespoon is the equivalent of maybe 100 calories or even more, maybe 120 calories. And so do you really need to be taking in that? Because if someone's drinking 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of ghee every day, that's like an extra 200 or 300 calories. And that's the equivalent to a small snack or a small meal. That's a lot of food you can be eating instead of having that oil. And a lot of times I would say in today, what's going on today is that people need to be cutting back on their calories as opposed to adding in more. So if someone is thinking about taking ghee as a supplement, that's something to consider, and you might have to make adjustments to the rest of your diet to cut back on other foods in order to bring that in without it affecting your weight. Also too is, I just find in general is that the beauty of eating any kind of fat, whether it's an oil or an animal fat or any kind of dietary fat or vegetable fat, is that it helps you to absorb minerals and vitamins that are fat soluble. Okay, that's why we need to have fats in our diet. Okay, is that not only to get the essential fatty acids that your body can't produce, but it's also to be able to absorb other vitamins and minerals that come from other foods or even from the fat. Okay, that a lot of vitamins and minerals are either water soluble or fat soluble, and if you don't have fat in your diet, you can't absorb those fat soluble vitamins and minerals. So when you're having vegetables, that's why it's important to always have a fat with the vegetables, right? So if you're having a salad, you have a salad dressing made perhaps with avocado or made with cold pressed oil, or if you're having steamed vegetables to drizzle some oil or some ghee on top of it, or any kind of vegetable especially, it's always good to have some sort of fat with it. And so that's the beauty of having things like ghee or coconut oil or any of these fats, is that it'll help you to absorb more vitamins and minerals from your food, especially when they're eaten together. Saying that, I don't really believe in just having isolated oil as a supplement on its own. Like I do think it's great to put in your food, especially after you've been cooking. So an example of that is adding a little bit of ghee into your soup after you've cooked the soup, or drizzling ghee on top of popcorn or on top of grains that you just cooked. Things like that, that it's always better to add the fat in at the end of the meal as opposed to the beginning when you're cooking. But to be having it alone, like by the spoon, without anything else, I don't really see the point of it. The only, and there's exceptions to this always, right? And I would say the only exception is that if someone needs to gain weight and they've tried everything and nothing's working to help them gain weight, perhaps by supplementing, by having a tablespoon of ghee a day might help them, 2 tablespoons. Another exception might be is that if someone is having a hard time absorbing certain fat-soluble vitamins and minerals, and they're working with a natural healthcare practitioner and they're adding more fats into their diet to help absorb those vitamins and minerals, then yeah, that is an exception, and that's something that could possibly help them. And the third one would be if you're working with an Ayurvedic practitioner and they prescribed you a protocol that involves taking ghee as a supplement, you're taking with herbs, or you're using it on your skin and doing all sorts of stuff with an Ayurvedic practitioner, then sure. But if on your own you just read somewhere that says, hey, you should be taking ghee, you're going to burn all this fat and you're going to raise this vitamin in your body and this and that, and it's going to save you from inflammation and arthritis and all this stuff, I really feel that you're better off just including it in your diet, into your food that you're already preparing, and using it that way as opposed to eating it by the spoon. And I guess to end off too, I like to just say that with using any kind of fat or oil with your cooking, you have to be always careful. And I would say that's the beauty of using something like ghee and something like coconut oil is that they have a high smoke level. They don't burn under high heat. And so if you're going to use anything to be cooking with, I would say, yeah, use the ghee. Yeah, use the coconut oil, things like that. Use it for your cooking, but I wouldn't be drinking it by the spoon or out of the bottle. So that's pretty much what my view is of using ghee as a supplement. Use it with your food, use it on your skin, but be careful and be wise about drinking it every day as a supplement. And I want to end off by just mentioning that the next 7-day Whole Food Challenge, it starts next Monday, November 24th. If you want to join us, it's 7 days of being on a 100% whole food diet. So that means 100% natural, real food diet. And this is a great challenge, because once you do this for a week, it's much easier to continue. For those that are trying to get off of sugar, off of processed food, off of the fast food, junk food, all of that, if you do 1 week of just eating 100% natural, real, good, healthy food, after that you can just continue. And that's what this HAS program's been designed, is to get you started so that you can continue forever and ever and ever with a healthy, balanced diet. Once you do 1 week without the garbage, it's much easier to continue on. So if you want to join us, the next 7-day Whole Food Challenge, it starts Monday, November 24th. You can go to my website to sign up, and once you sign up, you get recipes. There's over 75 recipes. There's meal planners. There's 3 sample menus for those that want to choose what they want to be eating. And also there's food lists as to what you can and cannot eat, and there's videos that go with the program, an online forum, all sorts of stuff. It's really meant to just pack you with a ton of information and a ton of guidelines as to how to eat properly, how to do it well, and how you can continue to take care of yourself and be on a healthy, balanced diet. So for those that want to try something new, those that want to get rid of the junk food and the processed food, and for those that just want to shake things up and have some fun eating healthy food, join us. Go to my website at radiantcentral.com, click on products, and you'll see the 7-day Whole Food Challenge there. Have a super fabulous day, everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.